Hi friends, this is Mrs. Gillette. We're working on Module 4, Lesson 8, Real World Angles. Things like looking at a clock, looking at what a skater does when they do turns, looking at what you do when you turn a car around, and the compass rose. You will need this packet. Please make sure you put your name on the name line up here. And we're only going to be working with the first row of clocks today. So in this clocks, I want you to, let's first put in some times. So we're going to put in 12 o'clock in the first one. So let's write 12 o'clock. And then let's draw 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock has the hour hand short, pointing at the 12, and the minute hand long all the way to the edge of the clock. That's 12 o'clock. Next, we're going to look at 3 o'clock. So let's put that on our clock. 3 o'clock. Hour hand points at the 3, minute hand touches all the way through the 12, 3 o'clock. And let's do 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Hour hand points to the 6, minute hand all the way through to the 12. And finally, let's put in 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Hour hand points at the 9, the minute hand points all the way through to the 12, 9 o'clock. All right, so yours should look like mine. All right, now let's relate this to angles. Let's say that 12 o'clock is 0 degrees, okay? Because the ray that is the minute hand has not moved. We're going to call that 0 degrees. Excuse me, the ray that is the hour hand, the orange one. All right, now, let's take a look at 3 o'clock. Our hour hand, which is pointing at the 12 for 12 o'clock, is now pointing at the 3. So the hour hand has traveled this arc on the outside of the clock. It's traveled that far. Well, if I think of a whole circle, I can see that it has traveled 90 degrees. So 3 o'clock is a 90-degree angle on the clock. Let's look at 6 o'clock. If we look at where the hour hand started up here at 12, and it traveled halfway around the clock, it has traveled into a straight line, or 180 degrees. See the straight line? 180 degrees. Now let's look at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we're going to look again that the hour hand started at the 12, and it traveled all the way around to the 9. It traveled past 180, 90 more. So we say it traveled 270 degrees. This angle is 270 degrees. Okay? Make sure yours looks like mine. Remember, pause anytime you need to. Now let's keep that in mind as we look at this big clock. So turn in your packet to this big clock. Okay? Now on this big clock, I want you to put your hand on the line above the 12, and we're going to draw a line segment to the line that represents the 6. All right? So there's my line segment. You can see that I have 2 parts of the clock. Don't shade. 1 half, 2 halves. All right, I shaded, I don't want you to. We have 2 halves of the clock. Well, if we take our clock and we put it this way, a line segment from 9 to 3, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts, or we have fourths of our clock. Okay? All right, so let's relate this to our angle measure. If you take your finger and you trace from the arc from 12, sorry, I got to move my clock down. If you trace the arc from 12 to 3, how many degrees have you gone? Well, hopefully you recognize that you've gone 1/4 of the circle, or 90 degrees. Please put that by that section. 1/4, 90 degrees. Now, if I travel from 3 to 6, I can see that I've traveled another 1/4 and another 90 degrees. Please add that. All right, let's keep going. If I travel from 6, I gotta move my clock again, from 6 to 9, I've traveled another 1/4 or 90 degrees. Are you noticing a pattern? And let's do the last one. If I travel from 9 to 12, I've gone another 1/4 of my circle and another 90 degrees. Okay? So now I can see that each fourth of my circle is 90 degrees. So now let's see, can I shrink that a little bit? Let's see what that gives me for measurements in degrees. So I know that 190, one of these is 90 degrees. But if I go halfway around, I have 2 90s, and 2 90s is 180 degrees. Okay? I don't want to put my 180 there. Let's put the 180 down here. 180 degrees would be there. But what if I go to 3 of my fourths? 190, 2 90s, 3 90s. 3 groups of 90, 3 times 90 is 270. When I travel 3/4 of the way around, I've traveled 370 degrees. And now let's put in the 4th fourth. If I go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 around my circle, I go 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90, or 4 groups of 90. And if I travel 4 groups of 90, 4 times 90 is 360 degrees. So when I travel around the outside of my circle, 90, 180, 270, 360 degrees in my circle. You need to remember that as we get into the problem set, because we're going to be talking about circles and degrees of turns in a circle. So remember that. 90 plus 90 is 180, plus another 90 is 270, plus the 4th 90 is 360. All right, here we go. Problem set number 1. We've got Joe, Steve, and Bob, and they're standing in the middle of their yard. All right, and they're facing the house. So that tells me that they're standing here in the middle and they're looking at the house. Okay? Joe turned 90 degrees to the right. So we're going to start with Joe. If Joe is looking at the house, I'm going to put my finger on the arrow that starts at the house. So I'm going to put my finger right here. And he traveled 90 degrees. What is he looking at? Yep, he's looking at the fence. So write fence next to Joe. Okay, I'm going to erase so we can go on to Steve. All right, Steve did the same thing. He's standing in the middle of the yard. He's looking at the house. But Steve turned 180 degrees to the right. So if he's at the house and he turned 180, well, let's start with 90. That's only 90 degrees. Let's go another 90. So he went 90 and 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. So what is Steve looking at? Yep, he's looking at the tree. All right, now let's look what Bob did. Bob stood looking in the middle of the yard, looking at the house, and he turned 270 degrees. Again, let's split it into our 90s. 90, nope, that's not 270. Another 90, nope, that's only 180. 90 times 3, 90 times 3, yep, that's 270. So Bob is looking at the barn. Okay, make yours look like mine. All right, number 2, Monique. Monique's looking at the clock. And the clock on the left is the time that her class started, and the clock on the right is the time that her class ended. We want to know, let's see, how many degrees did the minute hand turn from beginning to end? Well, we know that the minute hand is the long one, long hand. So I can see that it started on the 12 and traveled all the way around to the 9. So all the way around to the 9. Hopefully you can see that that's 270 degrees. But if you can't, let's break it up a little bit. Okay? Let's go 90 degrees. There's our 90. Is that 270? Is that over here to the 9? No. Let's go another 90. There's 90 more. Is 90 plus 90 270? No. Let's go 90 more. Have we gone 270? Is 3 times 90 270? Yes, it is. So, let's see, how many degrees did the minute hand turn? 270 degrees. The minute hand turned 270 degrees. Okay? Make sure you have that sentence, please. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 tells us that a skater jumped in the air and did a 360. What does that mean? Well, let's use our circle. I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, we've got a skater. And we're going to say he starts out by looking this way. Again, let's use our right angles to find 360. So I'm going to split my circle into fourths. There's 90. Has he gone 360? Nope. Here's another 90. Is 2 90s 360? Nope. There's another 90. Is 3 90s 360? Nope. There's another 90. Is 4 groups of 90 equal to 360? Well, let's check. 4 times 9 is 36. Invite the 0, 360. So, what does that mean? Well, I can see that if the skater started here at the top, that 360 means he went all the way around. He did a complete turn. All right. A 360 means a complete turn. Pause if you need to. All right, let's go to Martin. Martin's in his car. Okay, so Martin drove away from his house, but he forgot his wallet. He did a 180. Where is he heading now? So I'm going to observe the picture. I see that here's Martin's house. Here's Martin in his little car, and his car is going this way. Okay? And I can see that he's headed to the store. Well, he can't go to the store without his wallet, so yeah, he's going to have to turn around. So if Martin is driving down the road, oh no, I forgot my wallet, and he does a 180, well, let's see what that looks like. He's going to have to turn 90 degrees. All right, so that's 90. Is that 180? Nope. He's going to turn another 90 degrees. Oh, 2 groups of 90 equals 180. All right, so now I can see that Martin is heading this way. He's heading where? To the store or toward his house? Martin is headed toward his house. Again, pause if you need to. I'm going to keep going. All right, John's in the shower. He turned the knob on the shower 270 degrees to the right. Draw a picture showing the position of the knob. Well, let's look at the before knob first. Here's the knob when he got in the shower. Okay? He has to turn the water on, and he wants to turn it 270 degrees. Well, I'm going to split this into 4s because I know 90 will help me. All right, so if I go this far, I've gone 90 degrees. If I go this far, I've gone another 90. Is 2 90s 270? No. Is 3 90s 270? 3 times 90. Yes, that equals 270. So now I'm going to draw a picture. His knob is right here. So on the after, I'm going to draw the knob. Okay? 260 degrees around would put the knob right there. All right, let's look at Barb. Barb is using scissors to cut the coupon from the newspaper. How many quarter turns does it take for her to stay on the line? All right, so we're going to start where her scissors are. Her scissors are right here. She's going to have to turn to keep on the dotted line. That's 1 quarter turn. Just cut, 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 cut. Oop, got to turn. There's another quarter turn. Remember, quarter turns are 90 degrees. Okay, let's keep going. Cut, 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 cut. Got to turn. There's another quarter turn, another 90 degrees. All right, cut, 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 cut. It's got to turn. She turned another 90 degrees. That's 3, oops, that's not 3 turns. That is 4 turns. And now she can finish. How many quarter turns did she take? 4. So, Barb, I'm going to pick a different color. Barb used 4 quarter turns to cut out the coupon. Okay? Again, pause if you need to. Number 7, how many quarter turns does the picture need to be rotated to be upright? This little doggy right now is laying on its back in a 180 degree angle. All right, the way I want you to think about this is its head. All right, its head is up here. How can I turn this to get his head up at the top? Well, I can, if I do this, if I go that far, his head will be at the top. Well, how far did I travel? Yeah, I traveled 90 degrees. Or I traveled 1 quarter turn. Write that, please. 1 quarter turn. Oh, let's add to that. To the left. Left. All right, see that? He was laying down. I turned him to the left. 1 quarter turn. So 1 quarter to the turn to the left. Or, let's look at it a different way. Let's look at it a different way. He's laying down. What if I turned him to the right? What if I went this way? So if I turn him and I turn him a quarter turn, is he upright? No. Oops, sorry, I went too far. If I turn him a quarter turn, his head's down here. That's 1. If I turn him again, his head is here. Is he upright? No. If I turn him again, his head will be up there. Now is he upright? Yes, I turned 1, 2, 3 turns to the right. So 1 quarter turn to the left, or 3 quarter turns to the right will put the dog upright. Okay? All right. That was a lot to write, so catch up if you need to. Finally, let's go to Meredith. Meredith is using this compass rose. Meredith right now is in the middle facing north. The first thing she does is turn 90 degrees to the right. You know 90 degrees is a quarter turn. Okay, she did that. Then she turned 180 degrees more. She didn't turn to 180 degrees. She returned 180 degrees more. So 90, 180. She turned this far. Which direction is she facing? West. Meredith is now facing, west. All right, that's it for today. Please be ready to do whatever it is the teacher asked you to do next.